process of development, which has no set limits, is an ongoing journey in the life of humanity. It is dynamic and keeps changing with the times. Previously, the fundamental and basic developmental needs, as addressed by the Family of Four program, were the need. At the completion of these programs, and having experienced the positive changes, the community continues to identify newly surfacing broader needs. These are addressed through an additional 11 projects through the Family of Four Plus concept, enabling the Nepali villages to continue on their journey of development. What are the components of the broader Phase 2 Family of Four Plus Holistic Community Development Program, which are undertaken at the completion of the Phase 1 Family of Four concept? Greenhouse. Solar dryers for drying vegetables with the help of solar power. Slow sand water filters to provide clean drinking water. Nutrition program for malnourished children. Adult literacy programs for illiterate men and women. The utilization of solar cookers. Hot water bathing center. Program to provide scholarships for vocational training. Use of modern watermill built for the community. Training provided to the community. Skills training in sewing, knitting. Skills training in carpentry. The importance of green leafy vegetables for nutrition and its absolute necessity for the good health of people of all ages is a known fact. Deficiencies in the human body leading to various diseases are often caused by lack of essential vitamins which are readily available in green leafy vegetables. In spite of this knowledge, these high-altitude communities never had the opportunity to cultivate these vegetables because of the harsh conditions. With the help of our greenhouse program, people here are able to grow their own vegetables, improve their diets, and see significant changes in their living conditions. After building their own greenhouses and seeing the growth of green vegetables in all seasons, not only were the local residents amazed, but became highly motivated as they saw how something that seemed impossible can be accomplished if they wanted. Now each household has its own greenhouse, and the users testify that as a result of the greenhouse program, the changes in the quality of life of people of all ages is indescribable.
ग्रीनहाउस नपाउनु भन्दा कति महिना साग खानुहुन्थ्यो?
2 महिनामा
2 महिना खानुहुन्थ्यो। यो तपाई आफ्नै बारीमा उत्पादन गरेर खानुहुन्थ्यो कि जंगलबाट ल्याएर?
हामीहरु अलिअलि आफ्नो उत्पादन हुन्थ्यो।
Before building your greenhouse, for how many months in a year were you able to eat green vegetables? Only 2 months. The vegetables available for those 2 months, did you grow them in your own field or did you get them from the jungle? We were able to grow very little by ourselves. We mostly gathered it from the jungle. After building the greenhouse, for how many months are you able to eat vegetables? 10 months. Now, with the availability of greens and vegetables, our children have become so healthy. We too feel energetic and our bodies are full of energy. Our children seem to love vegetables and ask for it at each meal. Once you have grown sufficient vegetables in your greenhouse, how much do you charge for 1 bundle of greens? We sell it for 20 rupees. How much do you charge for cauliflower? We charge 100 rupees for a cauliflower and 80 rupees for cabbage. What do you do with the money? We buy notebooks and pens for our children, and sometimes we buy household items with it. Solar dryers for drying vegetables with the help of solar power. After the daily consumption of produce from the greenhouse, along with what little can still be gathered from the traditional ways of collecting from the jungle, local communities are able to stock up on excess greens and vegetables while they are still fresh, by drying them in a hygienic way with the help of the solar dryer. Drying food in this way has proven to be not only time efficient as compared to traditional methods, but is also hygienic, protecting it from dust and dirt while also preserving the nutrients within them. Those who use the dryer have set an example for others to follow.
बहिनी यो तरकारी पहिला तपाई कसरी सुकाउनुहुन्थ्यो बाहिर खुल्लामा
ए त्यो के रे कपडा बिछाएर सुकाउँथ्यो
कपडा बिछाएर
How did you dry your vegetables before? We too dried it in the sun, but what we did was just to spread it out on cloth and leave it out in the open space. It got dirty from the muddy air and dust that settled on it. Later, when we were eating it, we could feel it was moldy. And of course we could not see and were not aware of harmful disease-producing bacteria and germs. How did the food dried out in the open taste? What difference did you see between food dried out in the open and food dried in the solar dryer? Food dried in the solar dryer tastes much better. How did you dry your vegetables before? On a sheet out in the open. Did you have any difficulties while drying it outside? With the children playing outside and the chickens running around, all vegetables got muddy and dusty from mud and stones. When you previously ate the vegetables dried outside, did you experience any negative health effects or diseases? Yes, the vegetables were constantly contaminated with mud, animal hair, and different leaves and pieces of wood. What are the advantages now with the solar dryer? Some of the advantages are that the vegetables are protected from all kinds of contaminations and rain, and we can do some other work beside at home. People became victims of various kinds of diseases by drinking water from every available source. Water is among one of the main components of development for healthy families. We have made the water from open sources like rivers undrinkable. Now then, how can we utilize clean and safe drinking water? Societies here have been in search of this. People are aware of the fact that even though they are able to have running water in their homes, flies and all kinds of germs from domesticated animals in their homes contaminate this water. By using this contaminated water, they suffer from all kinds of diseases, even causing death in some cases. Having observed this problem up close, RIDS-Nepal, that has been addressing several issues in this place to bring about development, came up with a program to enable every family in this village to install a slow sand water filter in their homes and taught them how to use it. Is it safe to use water from the slow sand water filter? This is their experience. What is this? I am filling this with water, sir. What is that? It's a water filter. What is inside? There is sand inside. What is the sand used for? It is used to purify the water. Do you use this clean water only for drinking, or do you also use it to cook with and wash dishes as well? Yes, we use it to cook with and wash dishes as well. How many times a day do you have to fill it? I fill it twice. After you started drinking this filtered water, what changes and improvements in health did you observe in your family? Noticeable results were that gradually, abdominal pains, worms, including tapeworms, and regular dysentery have all stopped. Do you store water in these jars and containers? When you do that, what kind of problems did you face? When we stored water in these open containers, dogs also got into it and contaminated the water. The same was the case with the chickens we kept. Now, when we bring the water from the river, we immediately put it into these containers. Ever since we have been using this filter, we don't struggle anymore with dysentery. The problems we all had with worms, especially tapeworms that our children struggled with, have all stopped. Even at the hospital, they tell us now that there are no worms. We have greatly benefited from this filter. We mostly drank water from the river before, as there were no taps. and even when there were a few taps, there were no slow sand water filters. So yes, we drank mostly from the river and at times from the taps. When you drank water from the river, what kind of problems did you face? We often had abdominal pains, problems with worms that made us sick, often with many kinds of diseases. What benefits do you experience from the filter? We were always sickly before because of the diseases we suffered due to worms from the filthy water. Now when we drink water that has been filtered through this filter, our abdominal pains have stopped. We don't have the same problems with worms, especially tapeworms, anymore. This has benefited us greatly. Nutrition Program for Malnourished Children. With communities well on their way toward development with the help of the basic family of four concept, it was now time to think at a deeper level, a time to step out of the binding circle of tradition and address other issues that were surfacing. Good nutrition for all ages, from babies to old people, is the first priority necessary for a transformation in the way people think. If a child is deprived of the mother's milk and nutritious food in his early years, it is just a matter of letting him survive as a human being while remaining weak in his mental and intellectual capacity. RIDS conducts a nutrition program for those children under the age of 5 who are malnourished and extremely weak physically. The following images give us an idea as to how RIDS has conducted the nutrition program. Today, as you have seen, we made this porridge by combining wheat, corn, rice, and soybean. You can feed the children with this while you are here. But what should you be doing on a daily basis when you return to your homes? You need to continue to use this combination to make your porridge. You need to feed your children this nutritious, rich porridge. For good hygiene, cut their nails on a regular basis and bathe them with warm water. Now it's warm weather, which will make it easier. It is not enough to just feed the body with nutritious food, you also need to keep the body clean. Care of the body both inside and outside is what is needed to remain healthy. We will be back again in April to check on all this. By the time we are back next month, I hope to see that your child has put on some weight, at least a kg or even half a kg. Hopefully his weight won't decrease. I will take care and make sure that he puts on a kg or half a kg by the time you are back. Adult Literacy Program. Now that the basic components of development through their family of four programs have been established firmly in the community, the whole process of development in all areas now set in motion cannot be stopped. In the fast-growing pace of the 21st century, here in this remote place, we are still in a situation where people have to use their thumbprints to establish their identity. In our remote village communities, roughly 1 out of 25 women and 1 out of every 5 men may be literate. There are other organizations also at work in the area of literacy. At the request of the community, RIDS-Nepal has established an adult learning program adapted to the local situation. As a result of this, some of our men and women have successfully graduated to being able to read basic books and give their signature instead of just a thumbprint as was the case previously. Why do we use a solar cooker? What are the advantages in its use? Why do we use a solar cooker? What are the advantages in its use? In recent times, deforestation has been taking place at an ever-increasing rate. The kind of development people want to see is not only toilets, stoves, lights, and drinking water, but a systematic development motivates them to want to use newly developed technologies as well. Utilization of a solar cooker, with the help of the abundant sunlight they have, which is otherwise not utilized, is one of the most essential tools for people here. RIDS-Nepal provided and taught the village community on the use of such solar cookers. Efficient use of time, clean ways of cooking, and forest conservation are some of the advantages of cooking with a solar cooker. If the solar cooker is not located properly, direct sunlight won't get to the cooking pot. So it has to be in an exact position in order to avoid any shadows falling on it. What happens if there is shade on it? If it does not get direct focused sunlight, the cooker cannot work properly. This is why I have to make sure it is straight and gets direct sunlight. Do you know how to use it? Yes, I know how to use it. When I am at home, I am able to cook rice, lentils, vegetables, meat, and other things on the cooker. I mostly cook our morning meal on the cooker. There are times when for a week or two there is no sunlight at all, and then I cook on the smokeless metal stove. I cook our evening meals on the stove. Since getting the solar cooker, how much wood per month have you been able to save? I must have saved approximately 250 kilograms of wood per month since we started to use the solar cooker. As long as we have sunlight, I am able to save all of the firewood we would otherwise need for cooking our morning meals. Are you happy that you installed the solar cooker? Oh, I am very happy. The food cooks fast and we don't have to burn so much firewood, and I can work outside. Because of all this, I am very happy. In your opinion, do you think other households want to have a solar cooker? Do they need to have one? In my opinion, every household should have a solar cooker. Especially for those who find it hard to get firewood, they can save a lot of wood. It is especially helpful for the women who go long distances in search of firewood, and when they come back, instead of having to start the stove and get a fire going, with the solar cooker, they can immediately start cooking rice and lentils and other things right away. I feel it is essential for every household to have one. Hot Water Bathing Center. A bathing center is a place where you have to come to have a shower. Previously, people washed themselves at the tap stands. But the significance and importance of these bathing centers is different. Hot water is available 12 months out of the year. Hot water is a precious commodity for those living in cold places. To have access to hot water even during the cold months and being able to wash regularly has helped in the healing of many skin diseases, especially those that are a result of the extreme cold. People living in such extremely cold climates are not prone to be motivated to shower regularly. And when parents and older siblings do not shower regularly, younger children follow their example and refuse to shower. Children imitate what parents do. To enable local residents to maintain good cleanliness and hygiene with the help of such a bathing center that can provide hot water even in extremely cold temperatures is the main goal of this project. Because of economic difficulties in their family situations, some young people, though very capable, are unable to move forwards. Recognizing the importance of identifying these young people and making it possible for them to get some vocational education, not only for their own individual benefit, but also to improve the economic condition of the whole family, RIDS-Nepal intervened to make it possible for some young women and men to get the needed training at a technical institute. The scholarship program enables them to obtain training in the fields of building and construction, and agriculture and health-related fields such as midwife training and nursing.
RIDS-Nepalले पढाइदियो र भनेपछि एउटा हामी धन्यवाद दिने अवस्था हुन्छ।
कसलाई धन्यवाद दिनुहुन्छ?
RIDS-Nepalलाई धन्यवाद दिने।
Thanks to RIDS-Nepal for the training they provided for the local youth. Who do you want to express your gratitude to? Of course, it's RIDS-Nepal we are grateful to. We want to thank them for helping us to get this training.
RIDS-Nepalबाट छात्रवृत्ति नपाउँदाखेरि मेरो घरमा घरको परिवारहरूले पनि जुटाउन सक्थिएन।
What would it be like for you if you had not received the scholarship from RIDS-Nepal? My family would not have been able to afford to help me study further, so without the scholarship from RIDS-Nepal, my education would have had to stop at that point. My family and I are so happy to have the opportunity for me to study further with the help of RIDS-Nepal. Congratulations upon receiving your certificate for completing your 3-year program. And I wish you all the best for a very bright future. My name is Dal Bahadur Bora. Your address? Patrasi, Tolfi Village, Jumla.
तपाईले यो प्राविधिक शिक्षा हासिल गरिसकेपछि तपाईको लक्ष्य खास के हो?
What are your goals after receiving this technical education? Upon completion of my training, I would like to take an entrance exam to try to get a government job.
जब तिर लाग्ने र हामी तेरो समुदायहरुमा सस्ते सम्बन्धी ज्ञानहरु दिने र हाम्रो त्यही नै हो।
तपाई चाहिँ अब यो जुन संस्थाले तपाईलाई चाहिँ सहयोग गरेर यो प्राविधिक शिक्षा हासिल गरायो त्यो संस्थालाई के भन्न चाहनुहुन्छ?
हामीलाई यहाँसम्म ल्याइदिनु भयो त्यसैलाई ठूलो आभारी गर्न चाहन्छौं।
What would you like to say to the organization that enabled you to get this technical training? I am very grateful to this organization for bringing us up to this point and want to thank them. I would also like to request the organization to continue this help for many others in the future. My name is Sani Bora. My address is Chumchaur Village, Jumla. My whole family is engaged in agriculture. My father passed away. I have my mother. What subject are you studying? I am doing my nursing training. How did you come up to this point to be able to have this training? I have to say that RIDS-Nepal has had a big hand in where I am today. I have heard that this organization especially helps those from very poor families by giving them an opportunity for further education. When I heard that, I got a recommendation letter from the district office and I was able to successfully pass the entrance exam to qualify for a scholarship. After that, RIDS-Nepal took over and helped me with everything. You say that it is because of all that RIDS-Nepal did for you that enabled you to come up to this position now. What would you like to say to them? I would like to say a big thank you to RIDS-Nepal. They have really helped me a lot. My family could not afford to help me get this training because of our financial situation. If RIDS-Nepal did not come to my aid, I would not be where I am today.
तिम्रो नाम चाहिँ के हो?
मेरो नाम हिराजन साई।
तिम्रो ठेगाना?
हुम्ला डाँडाफा 9 पाउला थाना छ।
तिमी कुन विषयमा पढ्दै छौ?
म अहिले 16 वर्ष।
What's your name? Hirajan Shahi. Your address? Dhadafaya Village, Humla. What program are you in? I am studying to be a sub-overseer. I am in my 2nd year.
अब जुन संस्थाले तिमीलाई यहाँसम्म पुर्यायो त्यो संस्थालाई तिमी के भन्न चाहन्छौ?
What would you like to say to the organization that brought you this far? I would like to express my thankfulness to RIDS-Nepal for enabling me to come this far in my training. I would also like to say that it would be really nice if RIDS-Nepal can continue to help other top students in our villages.
यहाँ 25 जना विद्यार्थीहरुलाई चाहिँ छात्रवृत्ति दिएर पढायो र ती विद्यार्थीको चाहिँ कस्तो अवस्था देखिरहेको छ?
What is the relationship between the Karnali Technical School and RIDS-Nepal, and what the president and the vice president of the institute have to say about RIDS-Nepal? Students who complete their training at the Karnali Technical School are not only able to improve their own financial situation, but contribute towards the national economic development as well. In my opinion, RIDS-Nepal should continue to support Karnali Technical School in this way. The relationship between RIDS-Nepal and the Technical Institute should be an ongoing one, and the scholarship program that you have should continue to enable students to come here to study. Our students get to study and learn all of the current technologies available in the wider market today. So, by continuing the relationship between RIDS-Nepal and Karnali Technical School, not only is it beneficial for the students, but also the wider community and society, and for the organization as well. For this reason, it is important to maintain the present relationship between RIDS-Nepal and the Karnali Technical School.
मेरो नाम अंशबहादुर साई, म अहिले यहाँ शिक्षालय उपप्रमुख। RIDS-Nepal र हाम्रो सम्बन्ध राम्रो छ। भर्खर अघि हाम्रो प्रिन्सिपल साहबले भन्नुभएको छ।
The financial help that RIDS-Nepal has provided for poor students from these remote areas to get training at the Karnali Technical School by providing scholarships for them makes it very sustainable. Because without such scholarships that RIDS-Nepal has provided, the young men and women from these remote areas would not have a chance for such an education. Because the economic status of these families is so low, they would not have been able to afford money for school fees or food and other expenses. It would have been very difficult for them to get such an education. Their only other options would have been to try and get some work to pay for this training, or perhaps even to sell some of their fields or cattle. It would have been difficult. For this reason, what RIDS-Nepal has done by providing this financial help is something very good. The young people here are so encouraged by this and enthusiastic about their training. They are very disciplined and stay out of any kind of trouble. We are confident that as these young people gain this technical education and skill training, and it becomes a part of them, that when they go back to their respective places, they are able to pass on their technical know-how onto the youth of the villages they come from. While using the traditional mills, people in the village, especially the women, were hard-pressed for time to do much else because it just took so long for them to use these mills. They were often torn between sitting at the mill and getting back home in time to cook the main meal and do all the other household chores, leaving them totally stressed out. Observing and analyzing this problem, RIDS-Nepal initiated a program to construct an improved mill with the community, which would take much less time to mill the grain than the traditional mill. Replacing the traditional wooden mill turbine with an improved metal mill turbine, women are now able to grind their grains 3 times faster than before. That means that not only do they have time for all the other household responsibilities, but whereas they used to be kept awake all night in order to grind at the mill when it was their turn, they are now able to sleep at nights. Here are the advantages of the modern and improved mill. This mill works even with less water. Previously, some mills could be used only during the rainy season, whereas these new ones can now be operated all the time as they need less amounts of water. The new mills with the improved metal turbines mill 3 times faster than the older ones. People in the village, especially the women, have 3 times more spare time for other things. Are you able to grind your grains faster than before? Yes, it grinds faster than before. They have been grinding corn since yesterday. We were able to grind 1 80-kilogram bag and 1 50-kilogram bag. Yesterday, from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., we were able to grind 5 such bags. There are many talents and skills among the village folk, but up until now, the whole focus has been on the survival of the family instead of being able to look at business possibilities and other undertakings. But now, with the completion of the basic family of 4 holistic community developmental approach, a transformation in their living conditions and thinking seems to have taken place. Up until now, their whole focus was on basic, unmet developmental needs. But now, their horizons have widened, and as they look into the future, they grapple with questions as to how they can become self-sufficient. RIDS-Nepal has been providing several trainings to designated community members. The goal of such skill trainings is to help them to become more business-oriented, with a goal of enabling them to find their own sources of income, and thus become self-sufficient. There is a big market for carpentry and tailoring in the villages. So, RIDS-Nepal has been providing trainings in these skills, including providing sewing machines and carpentry tools.
अझै कि प्यारी जिउमा आराम भेट भया भन्दिया बना जुम्ला मेरा स्याउका फारम छुट्टी मिल्या कुनै रे छ कि